Welcome back. Another episode of PHA PICKEM. It is week 5 in college football, and we are on a burner right now. We go 11-7 last week. We also had our exclusive area. Not a lot of people know about it because you got to sign up. Exclusive area where I sent out some other picks that were on fire. Make sure you check out the Twitter, the Instagram if you want to get into those picks. Also, NFL was electric. But this is all about college football. Again, 11-7 last week on the show. We did miss our hammer play, USC -6. So we're not doing great there. 1-3 on the hammer plays. But overall, it was a good week for us. And we got another amazing week. The board is electric. All right? This is for real or not for real week. All right? However, I'm going to tell you now, the board, it looks electric. It feels like it might be a trap. I'm not going to lie. It feels like it might be a trap. We have dogs all over the board that make no sense. And we'll start with the first one right out the gate. First game of the week, Kentucky Ole Miss, noon kickoff. The line is Kentucky +7. Yeah, Kentucky +7 at a not great Ole Miss team. They are ranked 15th in the country, but still. Over-under set at 54.5. I'm not going to take the trap. I just know that Kentucky has a good defense. That is not fraudulent at all. The offense might not be able to score points. Maybe that's where they're coming at. Jackson Dart and the Ole Miss offense, they're at least going to do something. So we will go with the under 54.5 to start the week and the picks. But that game, it's going to be a great game to watch. I still haven't decided if that's the game I want to bet because it just feels too cheesy. Like, where's the rat? But I will put out the official tweet on if we're taking the under 54.5. I say I don't like it, and the more I think about it out loud now, I might just make it the hammer play. I don't know. Under 54.5 goes the play. Moving along here, this is a quick show this week. Got to get you guys the picks. A little late release. That's on me. Next game we have Wake Forest, Florida State. Wake Forest, also a dog on this one, which makes no sense, at +7.5. Over under 66. We believe Hurricane Ian has went away and will allow this game to be played the appropriate manner it should be. Over 66 is the play. This is a no-brainer. They might score 85 points in this game. Easy. This one, you might have your ticket cash in the third quarter. Over 66 every day of the week. Let's go. Our third big game of the week, Gus Johnson style. Donovan Peoples-Jones. Oklahoma State at Baylor. Rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game. Oklahoma State quietly in the top 10. We don't really know a lot about them. They've not played anybody. Baylor, on the other hand, they have had some tough tests, including that double overtime loss in Provo to BYU. Instinctually, I talked about this in the PHA Bets podcast. Hair's going everywhere right now. Instinctually, over seemed like the right play in the old school Big 12. But I think both these teams have good defenses. Offenses, I don't think are bad either. I think this is a classic juggernaut or clashing of the Titans, you might say. Battle. We're going to go under 56.5 in this one. Yeah, we're just hitting unders, it feels like right now, not picking sides. Over-unders, which if you remember last year, I said I don't ever do it, and I've gotten way better this year at it already. Better knock on wood on that one. Next game, we have Alabama-Arkansas in Fayetteville. Arkansas +17.5. The over-under, dang it, I don't have it. It is, I believe, up in the 50s, though. Alabama, you're not that good this year. I'm sorry. In their last 5 road games as well, they have not covered, minus the one flukesy game against Mississippi State. Two of those non-covers came against last year's bad Florida team where they only won by 2, so bad they got their coach fired. Also against a below 500 Auburn team in a game that they should have lost on Thanksgiving weekend. All right. Alabama is not a good road team. Yeah, it was hard for me to get it out of my mouth. That's how bad that was to say. I will take Arkansas +17.5. I'm not sure why it is such a ridiculous line. Arkansas has a good running offense. They have a mobile quarterback, which has been Saban's kryptonite for the last decade. He can't do well against mobile quarterbacks. Well, guess what? KJ Jefferson, one of the best to do it out there. Arkansas +17.5. Maybe one of the more easy-ish covers you will see, unless, of course, Alabama does what Alabama does once a year, and they just put everyone back on the, oh yeah, we're Alabama map. We'll see, though. I don't think it'll happen against Arkansas. Our last Big 5 game of the week, the marquee game of the week, this might be a top 3 game of the year. NC State, number 10 in the country, and Leary at quarterback, taking on Clemson and DJ Uiagalelei at number 5 in their version of Death Valley in South Carolina. The line is NC State plus 6.5. Another one that's like, what am I missing here? But even more so, what am I missing here? The over-under is 39.5. Are you serious? Jump on this line very quickly because the square bettors, I shouldn't even say the square better, the public in general, is going to see this and just jump all over the over after what they just saw against Clemson Wake Forest. And this line is going to grow. I'm going to say somewhere in the 44 range. I personally took it at 39.5 because I think that's just too easy. Even in a juggernaut, clashing of titans again game, these two teams are scoring over 20 points. This is more of like a 24, 21, 27, 25 game. Like there's gonna be points. There's too much offensive weapons on the board, and Clemson showed last week that their defense is good. But they'll give up points, and NC State can score, and they have a much better defense than Wake Forest. So we're not going to have like a 80-point game, but it should land somewhere in the 40 to low 50 range by the time this is over with and the horn sounds. So those are our main 5 picks. Walking along here, here's the rest of the card I got. I got Michigan minus 10.5 against Iowa. They're just way too good. Iowa can't score either. Texas Tech plus 8 going to Kansas State. Did Vegas forget that Texas Tech also had a big win last week and not just Kansas State? I like them plus 8. Oregon State plus 10.5 at Utah. I mean, Oregon State, I understand, was at home, but USC is a much better offense than Utah. I will take them in the points. Penn State minus 25.5 in what is a gut game for me. They're taking on Northwestern. If they don't win this game by 30 plus, I don't know if I can trust Penn State. I really don't. I mean, Northwestern just lost to Miami of Ohio, who Kentucky beat by like 24. All right, you need to win. Huge. You need to be up by 25, at least a half. That's just ridiculous. I'll take Pitt minus 21.5. They are playing a dog shit team. Can't think of who it is, but I know that they're going to beat them really bad because the line actually opened up at 24.5. No, it opened up at 21.5 and it's up to 24.5. Yes, there you go. I got UNC minus 8.5 taking on Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, they just suck. I know North Carolina has no defense, but Virginia Tech can't score either. Same premise as the Michigan game. Like, North Carolina will score enough to cover the 8.5. I got Louisville minus 13.5. I loved it at 15.5 whenever it opened up, but it's went down. They're playing Boston College, who has sadly been one of the most disappointing teams this year. Louisville showed last week against USF they can score. They also showed that they can score against really good teams like Florida State. So I'll take Louisville in a game that honestly no one will watch unless they have money on it. I'm going to be watching that game because I love Louisville and their quarterback. Then we got IU plus 5.5 taking on Nebraska. How are they plus 5.5? I don't know because Indiana's not that bad and Nebraska stinks. Indiana plus 5.5. And then my last play of the week, the hammer play. Going back to the MAC, baby. Back to the MAC. Maction, Ohio at Kent State, over 65. Ohio gave up over 60 points last week to freaking Fordham. All right? And Kent State put up 22 against Georgia. Ohio can score with anybody. Kent State, I guarantee you, was a better offense than Fordham. This might hit the 100 mark, honestly. Again, we might have it again. And a classic back to the MAC, Ohio, Kent State, over 65. That's the hammer play this week, and that's the show. Hope you guys enjoyed, Knuckleheads. Make sure you get all your bets in before 11:30. Let's have a good weekend.